Hey folks, how's it going? Well, today's video, what is it about? Well, lately, if you've been watching me, I've gotten very addicted to this little thing called Styrofoam. Right? You know, you go to the home hardware or wherever you go, and you walk in and you need to insulate your house. They give you some Styrofoam to put on the wall, and there you are. But I like it as art. And you can see that right here. Look at this. That was my last video. I did a fish. Bloop, 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 bloop. Right? Now, this time I did a dragon. So, why don't you sit down, watch it, and, do the old thumbs up if you don't mind, bell for notification if you need to, and subscribe, folks. Come on, folks. Get together and subscribe. We love it when you subscribe. All right? So, sit back, watch the video, and enjoy. Okay? Okay, guys. So, it looks like this is actually going to be video number 3 of me using Styrofoam to sculpt. And I really like it. I really seem to be enjoying it. So, today what I decided to do was I thought I'd do a dragon and make it a bit of fun, like a fun dragon. Thing is, I really don't know exactly what it's going to look like because, and sorry, I keep dropping this over here. But I don't seem to know exactly what it's really going to look like. So I basically just grabbed some pieces, some scrap pieces, and I'm slamming them together, and then I'll start to try to figure out an actual dragon of some sort with this, right? And probably will make some little spines in the back and stuff like that. You know, another thing too? I am so jealous of any of those artists who sit down and are so organized. It doesn't matter how hard I work on trying to be organized. I am not. Right? I still get the product done. I always finish what I'm going to start. Well, no, that's not always true. But I do get to the completion of what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I need to just simply sit down and go straight to it. But stuff that takes more time, like this, where I'm going to have to glue this, tape it, and then wait, right, for it to dry. So the thing is, I just am always perplexed on how these people do that. Like they're just so well organized. Maybe one day I will become organized. I don't know. I don't even know how in the heck right now I actually am doing 2 YouTube channels. I know that I may have mentioned this already, but we also have Snakes and Coffee on the other YouTube channel, and putting that together and then doing this at the same time. I don't know why I did this to myself, but I'm having fun. So really, to be honest, that's all that really matters to me, is having the fun part of it. And that, so as I said, I'm going to put this together, put some tape on it, and then we'll see what happens. Okay? So there we are. So I'll actually put some glue on this now. Yes, I was going to stop the video there and then realized that I didn't even actually do the thing I was going to do. Yeah, so there, glue there. And then I'll take masking tape and run that around too, and that'll keep it nice and firm. And I'm just gonna slap that in there. I can actually just pick this piece up. I shouldn't have done that at the same time. You know what? I'm really showing how disorganized I can be at times, or actually all the time. But it's working, so don't worry. In the end, there'll be a nice piece. I hope, anyways. Or this video may never be seen just because it didn't work. But like I said, I'm going to throw some masking tape on there, right? And let this dry. And then I'll probably have to peel it off the piece of paper there because it probably went through. But that's okay too. So there you are. Let's see this dry, and then you'll start to see something form and become a hopefully little cute dragon. Yeah, there we are. All right, guys. So you can see that I put the masking tape on. It's been glued. Everything's fine that way. So now I'm gonna have to sit here and think about how this is going to look like a dragon. Because as I said, I've kind of put the shapes together, but I really don't know what's happening. So I'm gonna sit there with my little brain and start pondering. Yeah, maybe I might have to grab a sketchbook. Okay, I grabbed a brown piece of paper, grabbed a big black marker, made an outline, and now I can sit down with a pencil and pen and that, and then just try to actually create a dragon somehow. So let's see what happens. So yes, now you see that I have actually done in the dragon in a rough, but the head, the legs, the wings, and then the little shield pieces. I don't know what you call those. Actually, like the scales in the back, right? Anyways, that I think I've got figured out. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of difficulty in certain areas, but I think I like what I've got going here. The other thing too is I'm going to have to think about which ones I'm going to actually layer on top. So I'll probably layer the face on top, I'll lay the two legs on top, and then the body will be in behind, and I think the wing might stick out. I think that's what I'm going to do. So there you are. Yeah, so I'm going to cut out the face first, get that started, and go from there. So I'm just going to cut out this stencil, and that'll give me a guideline. Okay, so I have the head here, right? And to make life a little easier, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this black marker, paint marker, and make an outline. Because the picture after it's done doesn't matter to me. Well, I mean the drawing. See, so this will work out to give me like a little outline, and it'll make it a little easier for me to cut. Yeah, I won't know there, but most of it I should know. Right. And then, once that dries, which takes like a couple of seconds, should be able to pop that off and look down and be able to get a nice outline. Right? And it didn't take a lot of work. Could have used a pencil going all the way around it, but I always find that you seem to dig or whatever. So this way I can just kind of look at it from the top. So as you can see, I've cut the head out, right? So there you are, piece of styro. Then I can place that on top of here, and that is the beginning of my dragon. So now I'm going to start working on the piece itself as to developing it and making it look good. So I'm just going to draw in the head here right now with the marker, and basically once I get that done, I can start to decide to make imprints of, you know, what, like I said, I think I might bring the jaw forward. I'm not 100% sure, but that should work. And then now I'm just going to add in textures and stuff like that and see how that looks. See if I need to do like maybe a bit of cutting in some areas, maybe just over top of the eyes or something like that. But I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, actually. Yeah, and then let's see where the nose hole goes. And another tooth. Yeah, I think I like it. And like I said, I'm gonna grab my stylus ball and squish out a little bit of this stuff here. I could probably do it with this too, just as easy. Just kind of squish out the extra lines. And then you'll have to just go a little farther down. And like I said, if I add in that might look pretty cool. If I add a jawline, it just kind of brings the face up a little bit more. And then maybe over the eyebrows. Not 100% sure, but like I said, kind of like, you just kind of erase the background in a way. I mean, you might not like that. I don't have a problem with it because it kind of gives that folksy kind of feel to it, that it's not a perfect situation. It's not something that's been, you know, it looks kind of old school. I don't know. It looks like it's carved. I think that's what it is. It looks like it's carved. And I kind of like that look about it when it looks like it's carved a bit. So when you add the paint into it and everything, it looks a little different. Yeah. So on to the next part. So I am going to put the jawline in. I think that's going to look pretty cool. This will just be a matter of quite a bit of sanding and that, just to kind of round it out so it'll look good. And I think that's it. And then I might do it over the eyes too, I think. And then the rest of it I think I'll leave just as is. But it'll be a bit of sanding on this one. I think I'm going to have to kind of really round it out. But there you are. So I did decide to do the jaw. Haven't got to the eyes yet, or the nostrils and that. So still working on those little pieces. But yeah, at this point here, I think I'm quite happy with what I'm looking at. So where you want to make your lines to kind of give emphasis or something like that, one of the things you might want to do is do this, which I think works really well, is make like a little divot line, and you cut on an angle, a little bit of an angle, and then cut again on an angle. And make sure your blade's really, really sharp, right? And you might have to do it twice. And there you are. You've got your little line, and that emphasizes. And you can do that probably with pretty much a lot of it if you want to do it that way. I like to add a little bit of, dimension to certain areas. So I'll leave that the way that is, right, for the ear. But I will switch it up when it comes to, I just realized I made a little boo-boo there. So I'm going to have to think about this right here. I don't want to cut that out, but that's not where my little divot line was supposed to be. It was supposed to stop here, and I kept on going. Do I cut it out and hope for the best? Because I'm just more concerned about the ears not having strength and that. But if I put masking tape in the back and that, and once it's hung up, it won't matter. Okay, so you know what? Take your chances, and I'm going to have to cut that section out. Now, it doesn't matter. Maybe I could have got away with it. I don't know. But for me, couldn't do it. I had to take it out. And there you are. Now I'll just do some sanding in that, and that'll fix that right up. So there you are. Some pieces are falling over here. I had this little bright idea, and it does work, is I poured a little bit more glue than I needed. So I have a little metal cup here, right? And then what I did was I took another little metal cup and just literally went on top like that and just left it over in the corner. But when it vibrates, it falls off, but who cares? Just put it back on. But now, okay, so you see that. I might actually do that with the eyebrows, I'm not sure, but I think I definitely will do that with the nose. So again, to get that to work, you've got to just kind of really take your time. Make sure your point is really stuck in there. Don't try to go huge deep, because if you do, you're going to have issues. Guarantee you. And then trying to get that little bit to go on the side takes a bit of effort. You could also take a Dremel and actually groove those out too. I've taught myself this way, so I'm very used to doing it that way, but a Dremel would work. You might even, like after you've done it, especially if you get a spot where it kind of this little clumpy, you could actually literally Dremel that nice and clean. So I'm gonna have to just get my fingers in there and poke around with that to get that to pop out, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so like I said, I'm just gonna simply pull this off. Get some tape here, a little bit of tape here. Spot where I'm gonna need to draw it in myself, but that won't be that hard. Actually, now what I'm gonna do, now that I'm taking the tape off, I'll just do this. It gives me my line. There you are. And then take the tape off here. And there you are. Probably my little points. I can grab a black marker here, and I believe that that went up like that. That makes the ear, which that marker's not working, and it's also too thin. Aha! Purple marker right here. Boom, boom. there you are. See? So now look. I have my dragon all drawn out. So now I know what he's going to look like. I already have an understanding of the eyes now because I'm the person that draws it. The only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to probably do a lot of pressing here because I've actually originally did something that I had started but it didn't work out. So I'll just do that and then I'll actually start to cut it out. So we now know that this is what our little face is going to look like, right? So I can start playing around with that too. Decide if I'm going to add even an extra piece of jaw line up here. Might actually do that, or the eyes, whatever. But I'm going to just press that out a little bit just so that when I do it, it'll look nice. You just, you know, like you can literally just scratch it out. And then you can work on top of that again because the harder you press, the more you can get out of it. And that, actually I might not use something as tough as that. Probably more something like this. Flat. And just squish it out a bit. Yeah, that's it, pretty much. Just kind of get rid of that. That's it. So you see where I'm at now. And then I'm going to cut this out. So, as you can see, I've touched up the nose there to give a little detail. Now, one of the things I sometimes do when I'm doing something like this is I will take just a pencil, whatever it is, because remember, you're going to hit it with paint later, right? But I'll draw around, and if I'm not getting the full depth that I want, what I'll do on something like this, I can, let's say I'm going to make the eyebrows in here. I think I'm going to make them so that they look scaly, right? Now, on this, what I can do is you take your blade and you follow along the line, but just really just touch it so that it breaks the actual skin on the actual foam. You just touch it lightly like that, not too heavy, right? And when you've done that, you can come back with your pencil to give you those extra little lines that you want, right? And you just simply push in and it gives you a little bit more depth, but not so much that you have to cut into it. And then when you do some dry brushing, you're going to get your lines, right? And you can actually like kind of even push it a little bit. So again, that'll give you that sense of depth, you know, a little bit like, you know, when you're drawing, you round out a little something just to give it that look. Well, that's what this is going to do. So I've added a couple little extra lines in here, and they're like really soft, just to see if that'll give a little bit more feel to it too. So I've got basically my dragon done the way I want, and then I will keep working on the overall depth of this, and then I can start to add in extra scales that'll be like, you know, little rounded scales that, you know, like a dragon would have, you know, these nice kind of, and then they kind of square off a little bit and they start to go into the triangle part. And again, I like to do a little rounded piece, and then I do a straight line, round it, straight line, round it, straight line, round it, straight line. So there you are. I'm starting to get some textures in that, some feel to my dragon. I can put another lip line in here just to give a little sense of fun on it there. And then there'll be some, again, rounded and that. Yeah, I think I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'll just keep working on that. So if you take a look here, I have actually added eyelids and horns and then teeth. So I'm going to glue those in, and then they'll stay there. And then I can start to add into the next parts. And then I think I've got, I'm going to put wings in there. And all the rest of the stuff and scaling and stuff like that. I'm all excited and ready to do it. All right. So I have been working on this, and there's a couple of things that I have changed up and then added also. So I cut the wings for myself. I cut the feet for myself, and I've also cut the scales that'll go on the back. I've also decided to take the ears off from where they were, and then they're going to drop in behind where the horns are. I actually broke one of the ears and had to make a new one. But beyond that, everything else is good. Right now I'm going to sand on this and then add detail and then get into the tail for detail. And then these guys all need to get sanded up. The wing needs to get sanded up, and also as to what kind of a look it's going to be. The same with the feet. So it's quite a bit of work and quite a bit of sanding. Oh well, that's what we got to do. So after I drew with pencil crayon, basically the outline of the scales, I then took this baller and I used it actually to make an impression, and that way you get just a little bit more. So it gives you a little bit more scale kind of a look. It gives you more in depth, and that if you want, you can even go back even more if you wanted to. But I think this is going to look okay. I think so. It's going to be fine. But that gives you an idea. Now what I'm going to do is hook up all my stuff to the back and start actually assembling. And then I still have the legs to do, and that also to scale. Yep, there we are. And the wings. So I'm going to make the wings now. Alright folks, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paint this first before I do anything, and then I'm going to assemble. I think that's going to be better. Get the paint on, and then I can do all the rest of the painting after the fact. There we are. Alright guys, so what we have here is I have painted it black and that, and now I'm going to assemble. What I've got here are some toothpicks, and I got some glue. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. Basically I use the toothpicks just basically to make sure that things go in nicely and stay on nicely. And then a bit of glue should work perfectly. So it's now time to assemble. Okay, now I put the toothpicks in, and there was a little bit of fumbling here because I thought it would be good to do it and push down on, but it's actually better to go through the back. Putting the other pieces on like this, like the ears and the horns, shouldn't be as hard because I'm going to be able to place them in position where I want them to be, right? And then I'll be able to literally take the toothpicks and then just pop them on top. And I think that'll work quite nicely. So what I'm going to do there is simply do take a toothpick, right? I've got a broken toothpick here, right? And I will insert it in, right? I'm going to poke it inside, and then I'll push it in to where I want it to be, and then that should give me what I want. So watch that happen. Well, probably it'll take me a bit. Well, here we go. I have it all painted black. I have the wings on. I have the spines on the back. Everything going for it. Now it's gonna time to let some of the stuff dry, and I'm gonna paint it. And that'll be the next part. Alright guys, I am now getting ready to paint. I put a little bit of white on there just so I could get an outline of what was going on. Anyways, I think I'm going to do kind of a violet kind of a color. So I've got some red and I've got some blues and that, and I'm going to mix these up. And I'm also going to add this white shimmer. That's what it's called, an enhancement. So it'll give it a bit of a shine to it. I think that's going to look pretty cool. All right, there we are. All right, here we are at the eyes. And I left that till last because I find that that's kind of the thing that'll really let you know if what you did was worth doing, right? So here we go. The eyes are in. I think they're looking pretty darn good. I'm very happy with what I'm looking at. Right, probably a couple more coats just to brighten it up. And I'm not sure if I'm going to add any color. I might actually add a green to kind of really kind of bring it out something a little bit different. But I like what I see, and I'm happy I am done. Well, folks, there is my dragon. Dragon. I gotta be honest, guys, it was a lot of fun. Now, here's the great thing about that is, check this out. Boom! It's up. It's ready to go. There you are. Can't get better than that, right? So, I would say that if you want to try something like this, go for it. Somebody did mention that they thought that it was illegal in some places. I think that there must be new styrofoam out there that we can use because, I mean, they still insulate houses with this stuff. And that, so, there you are. But, you know, make sure you got it checked out in the right places. But beyond that, as I always say, be cool like a big bull moose. And remember to wear your pants.